Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and all non-gender specifying individuals and everything in between. This is Keaton, and I want to welcome you to KQK Presents Shoot the Messenger. I'll be honest, it's been a really tough week. I guess it's unfair for me to say that personally, but just across the U.S., across the world, it's been a really tough week. And I just want to, give a personal shout out to each and every individual out there doing their job, making the world a better place. And on top of that, I want to ask how the boys are doing because that is very important to me. So, Kyle, Quentin, how y'all doing? How's life?
I'll go first on that one. I will say that life is, for me, I recognize I'm incredibly privileged to be in the position that I'm in. Life is moving pretty decently for me. I am currently in New York City. It hurts to see the nation to be in the position that it's in, but I also recognize I have a lot of privilege in this moment, and I'm grateful for the privileges that I have, but still very thoughtful and caring and still care about what's happening in a larger national context.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of that. Living out, I live out in the suburbs now. I don't actually live in Chicago anymore. So like physically, I'm not kind of in everything, but obviously mentally and emotionally, I'm right at the center of it. So I've been better, definitely been better, but I'm not feeling as terrible as I did probably a couple days ago. That's for sure.
Fair. And as a general announcement, if you hear some random meowing coming in the background, I'm currently cat sitting. So there might be some chirps and meowing and maybe even a cat on my lap at some point. So if that happens, just
ignore it.
Yeah, just pretend nothing's happening, like usual. So there we go. All right, Q, what you got for us today?
Yes. So first and foremost, before we start any of our debauchery, as we like to embark on, we have to spend time in order to show love and have our hearts extended out to and our condolences sent to the families of Ahmaud Arbery and George Floyd, Breonna Taylor. If you don't know, so Ahmaud Arbery, this was weeks ago, a young man that was killed while he was on a jog by two white individuals in a pickup truck. George Floyd, who, as of last week, there was a video that came out that was 10 minutes long of a police officer putting his knee on his throat, basically until he died, killing him by choking him. And there have been many protests around the nation to show the outrage and the lack of acceptability of this situation. So, yes. And also, of course, Breonna Taylor, who was a woman, who's also, whose story sort of got swept up and ignored due to this case with George Floyd. But as a Black woman, she also was the victim of police brutality in these last few days and weeks. So just wanted to have my condolences out to those families, first and foremost, before we get into any of the funny whatever, because they deserve that time. They deserve to be recognized. Yeah, it's the more serious racial issues that have been happening in recent times. I mean, you can remember the Christian Cooper, the Blackbird Watcher in Central Park, who had the woman Amy Cooper on video, like basically threatening his life by calling police officers on him just for him to ask for the woman to leash her dog, excuse me. So a lot of racial tension right now, but wanted to extend my heart out to those people, extend my heart out to anyone that is protesting right now. You're really doing amazing work. Please continue to do what you're doing. And for anyone that's not protesting, I don't want you to feel like you are not doing enough. Everybody you have to take care of yourself as well as take care of the community. Whatever you can do for where you are, we respect what you do. We appreciate what you're doing. And yeah, just my heart and my prayers go out to their families and for anyone out there doing that good work. protesting across the nation.
Yeah, man. Couldn't agree with you more. I hate that we have to have this conversation. You know, I hate that I have to talk about this because it hurts, man. It hurts. And I'm just tired. You know, I'm hurt and I'm tired because, you know, it seems like even 400 years later, nothing's really changed about the way that Black people are treated in this country. And it's not just, you know, Ahmaud Arbery. It's not just George Floyd. It's not just Breonna Taylor. There's numerous upon numerous of cases. Eric Gardner, Oscar Grant, Philando Castile, Sandra Bland, and, you know, Trayvon Martin, which is kind of like the first big one that I really probably experienced in my lifetime with vivid memory. And, you know, and that's not, you can go back to, you know, Rodney King. Hell, you can even go all the way back to Emmett Till with, you know, shit like this happening. And those are just names that we know. And God only knows how many, you know, didn't get this visibility, didn't get the media attention. And it just, yeah, man, I'm tired. I'm hurt. I don't understand why me being a Black person automatically means that I'm dangerous. I don't know why my skin color makes white people hate us so much. I just can't seem to understand that. And, you know, I cried for the first time in like a long time this weekend because it just, like, it really does hurt. And it needs to change, obviously. And I'm proud of everybody who's out there on the front lines, you know, protesting in the streets. I'm proud of everybody who's, you know, reposting truthful information about what's really going on at these protests. I'm proud of the people who are donating money to all these great causes to, you know, help move these protests along. Like Q said, you don't have to be on the front lines with this. We need people doing the other things, being behind the scenes, you know, spreading the real information, donating money so that we can bail out those who are being falsely imprisoned. You know, there's a lot of good ways that you can help out. The worst thing you could do is just to do nothing at all. That's the worst thing you do, because if by doing nothing at all, you're basically fighting against us. That's what it is at this moment. There's no middle ground on this. It's no longer enough to just, you know, we need people actively against racism, not just saying, I don't like it, or that, you know, whatever the fuck they're saying now, because there's a lot of bullshit out there. But, you know, you're either with us or against us, quite frankly. And I hate to kind of make that ultimatum, but it is what it is at this point. So prayers and condolences to every fucking Black person in America, because we all need it. We're all in this fight together. And I hope it gets better. I really do. But there's a pessimistic side of me that says America hasn't changed in 400 years for us. So what makes me think it'll change now? But, you know, and I hate that I feel that way, but I do really hope that good does come out of this, because otherwise I don't really know what we're going to do. But yeah, man, I'm tired and I'm hurt.
Yeah, it's very understandable. I guess it's tough to follow that up, especially from my sitting in this chair, from where I'm sitting, it's really tough to talk about it. Just to follow something like that up. I really truly do wish there was something I could say or something some magical potion that I could offer to make people feel better, to make people act the right way, to fix stuff. But that doesn't exist, and I don't think there's any words that I, as a human being, in my position in life, could offer up to, the families of someone who's been hurt, or people who've been hurt, or people that are hurting, even you, Kyle, you, Quentin, as well, that could really, soothe over some of the pain that you're suffering, or some of the feelings that you deal with on a daily basis at this point. And yeah, I mean, I guess to echo your point as well, for all those working on the front lines and in the back end, not only are we proud of you, what you're doing is needed, and to those that don't understand what's needed and don't understand like the concept of what a protest is or what a protest does, or organization, or trying to control a narrative, trying to help individuals that you may not have anything in common with for a specific reason. Like, I think it's important to do what benefits your community the most. And, that may or may not be what your heart tells you to do, but your community is probably one of the most important things that you could have a direct impact on. You have the ability to do that. You may not be able to change the entire racial narrative on a national level, but your local community, so your circle, the people that surround you, your city, whether small or large, you can have a small impact. This cat's just having a fucking field day. Sorry. So yeah, I can't express, like, to a degree how sorry I am, but also how, just frustrated to a degree that why other people decide to hurt people for no reason, why some people, get off on that, or they enjoy it. But if there's anything I can say from just my personal background, go volunteer. If you're a cop and, run for police chief, like, if you're upset by something happening in your community, be a leader, step up. Because at this point, like, we need you. Like, I can say that, but I also have to do it as well. So, go study, learn about historical racism, learn about different communities around the world who have combated racism, and if there is a community that might have, done good to stop it, study it, learn about it, understand the problem so that you can fix it. And then finally, speak up. You don't have to blast social media. All you have to do is just like talk to your friends and just say, hey, I support you. If you ever need anything, just call me. Or you can, if you have a friend that's caught, you can say, hey, how much training do you guys go through, per year on, situation de-escalations, and how much riot training do you guys actually do? That's something you could call your legislator about, right? If a cop has specific training, every year. I mean, some cops in certain precincts only train 1 hour for like riots and de-escalation, 1 hour a year. That's a year. Like, they are quite possibly some of those undertrained individuals on the planet considering their job. And that's something you can talk to your legislator about.
I agree with you. We all have to know where our power comes from, right? Regardless of your race, your gender, your sexuality, whatever community that you consider yourself a part of, we all need to recognize where we have the most power and how we can apply that power in different places. I know one thing you did briefly touch on there was about how, the social media posts and spreading it. And we've seen a lot of celebrities give their just dues, I suppose, or attention to these different things on social media. And while I don't have an extremely positive nor negative opinion on it, I will say that I hope that if you have access to resources and you have that power of having a big platform, that I hope that you're doing more than just retweets and posting pictures and paintings and things of that nature. I hope you're able to use your platform and your resources to do so much more than just that. I'm not going to pretend like I understand the intricacies of what that entails, but I do hope that you're doing more than just that. And yes, that's all I really have to say on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. There's some of these celebrities that just need to shut the fuck up. Like they just do. Like and there you can go on Twitter and it won't take you much long to find out who those people are.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And the sad thing is that a lot of them are people. They're black people who've profited it off, hood culture, black culture. And then when it finally comes time to really fight for black culture, for black people, they're the main ones saying, I don't really know if you should be doing this. I don't know about that. It's like, man, shut the fuck up. Like, I'm sick of y'all. I really am. You don't get to get all the benefits of black culture if you're not going to fight for it. Like, don't work like that. You don't get to play around with all the stereotypes that we have. You don't get to play around with just every fucking thing that comes with being black in this country, being black in general. You don't get to profit off that. You don't get to profit off of our money because we enjoy the content you make. And then when we speak up and say, yeah, we really need you to stand with us in this fight, and then you turn around and say, I don't know. Hell, Tory Lanez talked about this. I've gained a lot of respect for Tory Lanez these past couple of days. Like, celebrities, if you gonna talk, do your research, man. It don't take long. You can scroll through Twitter for about 20 minutes. You'll find out what's really going on out in the streets, because people are talking. And do your research before you start spewing nonsense. Yeah, man. I'm sick of a lot of celebrities, to be honest with you.
Yes, I agree. But I would also like to focus on the positive in that case. You mentioned Tory Lanez. J. Cole has been shown to be out there and being active. And there's many other celebrities that are actually going out there, putting in the work, bringing positive attention and finding their ways to benefit our culture in a way that is meaningful and that matters. So I'd like to also shine a light on that as well, that it's not all negative, that there are people that are out there doing the good work. And like you said, it just takes a quick Google search. It just takes a quick look through your mentions in your social media platforms to understand what's the appropriate way to respond and what's out of pocket. And if you're not educated enough to speak on something, sometimes it's best to just say nothing at all and find some other way to benefit the culture, particularly if you feed off of it in order to pay your bills and to live the lifestyle that you have.
Yeah, no, for sure. No. One final thing, the people you see out there like doing a lot of like the destruction of property, the looting and all that, a lot of it is white people. It's not black people.
Yep, I got a lot of videos from last night. People breaking shit, setting fires, and you know what? Most of the people in Nashville doing that are white people. So if you broke into the Ryman or if you set fire to the fucking courthouse in Nashville, suck my ass.
Man.
I'll say whatever the fuck I want.
Absolutely. Nah, because it's a lot of people either trying to live out like these punk, purge-like fantasies of, just absolute anarchy, or it's people who are actively fighting against us, trying to incite violence and trying to cause more, discontent between police and protesters, which, as we all know, it don't take much to really do that, because it's already on a knife edge, if not already having fallen over. So don't believe everything these news outlets tell you, because a lot of them are just, they're trying to push a narrative again that somehow, some way, this is all our fault. Yeah, man. Just be careful with what information you are seeing come to you. Like I said, do your research, and you will quickly find out what's actually, and do your research from people who have actually been at these protests, who are actually, have family and friends who've been in these protests, who are actually seeing this with their own eyes. Don't believe like these news outlets, because they're not telling you the truth.
Twitter too.
Twitter too. There's people on Twitter too. Gotta be careful. Make sure you're getting the correct information.
Absolutely.